What is it you're filming today?
Well, at the minute, them.
Him? Just
No, not him. The gatehouse.
Oh, the gatehouse.
Yeah, because I was just walking up and down taking pictures.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping to get a police car with the blue lights coming out.
Yeah.
I've got that now, but you spoilt my shot anyway.
Okay.
And the gentleman come out and committed a Section 5 public order offence.
Okay, what happened?
He said I'm not allowed to film.
Yeah.
And I explained to him I'm on a public road, so I can film.
Yeah.
And he called me an effing idiot, and it's all on film.
Right, okay. The gentleman in the...
Yeah, he had a security coat on with a big beard.
Right, okay. And you've got that on film?
I have, yeah.
Okay. What, are you wanting us to do anything about that? Were you planning on reporting it, or...?
I've just reported it to you, haven't I?
Right. At the moment, obviously, I'll deal with what you've just reported to me. Okay,
yep.
We'll take that into consideration. But we've had a report before anything of that has come through that there's been a male walking around with a balaclava on. Okay?
Not a balaclava.
Okay, that's the report we've had. Okay,
right.
Because you are matching that description.
Yep. I'm
detaining you for a stop search under Section 1 of PACE. Okay.
Really?
Based on the fact that sort of equipment. Okay.
So what's your reasonable grounds?
My grounds are
that I'm wearing a balaclava, which isn't a balaclava.
Okay. You match the description. You are covered in your face. Okay.
The moment he's approached, the officers surround him and speak, as if he's already done something wrong. When he doesn't immediately comply, the encounter quickly escalates. Right from the start, the interaction relies on assumptions, not actions. They invoke authority based on appearance rather than behavior. The reasoning is simple. Face covered, therefore suspicious. That's not proper policing. That's profiling based on clothing. Just because someone wears a face covering outside a police station doesn't automatically give officers the right to search them. If that were the case, the power would be practically unlimited. Section 1 isn't designed for vague, just-in-case checks. It requires a clear connection to specific items and a legitimate reason before anyone can be detained. Here, the logic is completely flipped. First detain, then see if anything justifies it. That's why this stop doesn't hold up under scrutiny. The problem isn't about poor handling, it's that the stop was never lawful to begin with. Once the reasoning is examined, the foundation collapses, showing the encounter was based on assumption, not law.
We're looking at offences such as theft, going equipped, that sort of thing.
Okay.
That sort of equipment can be used for that. Okay.
Right, so what are you looking for then, particularly?
So any further equipment that could be used in the course of conducting an offence such as theft or going equipped, okay?
All right.
So because
you do realise you'll get a civil claim over this?
Okay, that's fine,
yeah.
Yeah. Right, because I'm quite a small female and you're quite big, I'm going to place you in handcuffs because you're an unknown risk to me, okay? So
right, does it have to be a male? You're not stopping recording?
No.
Handcuffs on by anybody.
Yeah.
What are you doing holding the handcuffs?
I'm doing like that, holding your handcuffs. I don't need an explanation.
Well, it does. Look at your nails, you nearly scratched me with them.
Handcuffs can be used as a weapon, can't they?
Can they?
So
what, when I'm in handcuffs?
Yes.
I can assure you now I'm going to cooperate. I don't agree to the search and I don't consent to the search, I'll make that clear.
You don't have to consent.
Okay, I've detained you in Section 1 of PACE, you don't have to agree to it, it's
Yeah,
not a
no.
voluntary thing, okay? Right, will you want a copy of the stop search record?
Yes, I will.
Sorry, can you hold them for me
Yeah.
while I just... Sorry.
Honestly, I'm not going to try and break out.
Yeah, but as
I'm not going to get far, am I?
The Section 5 issue gets completely misused in this situation. Early on, Ed points it out 3 times because a member of the public approaches him and swears. That kind of behavior could actually be considered a public order offense, but the officers ignore it. Later, they turn Section 5 around and point it at Ed instead. Suddenly, they demand his name, claiming they can't handle the complaint without it. This implies that simply refusing to give personal details makes someone the problem, but that's not how complaints are supposed to work. Reporting wrongdoing doesn't make you a suspect, and you don't lose your right to report just because you protect your personal information. The timing reveals the real motive. Section 5 only becomes important when the officers are frustrated and searching for leverage. The focus shifts from the actual disorder to trying to regain control of the encounter. By framing Ed as the issue, the original behavior, the actual public misconduct, is quietly ignored and effectively erased from the conversation.
Being in a public place with a face covering, that's the offence.
Right. What's your name, sorry, just so I can...
I don't give my name.
Okay. So I need it to complete the form, and also if you want to process your complaint about the public order thing, I'll need your details anyway.
Right. You can just call me FT.
FT, okay? I'm
Yeah.
going to need more than that if you want me to deal with that complaint.
No.
Because I can't deal with that.
So you don't want to make a complaint about the Section 5 public order offence? Because you would need to give your details as a victim.
Alright, so if there's a murder and the person's dead, how do they make a complaint? Do they give their name? I don't think so.
That's quite a different situation.
Is it?
And we generally identify.
Right, we're getting on with this search. We've got better things to do than stand here talking around to you muppets.
You didn't have much better things to do because you were standing here filming, weren't you?
You had the grounds to search, explain to you and everything.
Well, yeah, apparently they're looking for, what is it you're looking for? Crowbars?
Can we use an identifier?
Wow.
Been detained in section 1 of case then PC 3096. I'm policing from here, this police station here, Fly Police Station.
Congratulations.
So, been offered a copy of the search record?
I have been offered a copy of the search. You don't need my name for that though.
The search ends exactly as expected. Nothing is found. When the handcuffs are removed, the marks on his wrists are clear and deep, far beyond what brief or routine restraint would leave. When physical restraint leaves lasting marks, it stops being about safety and starts feeling like punishment for not following the officer's version of events. Then comes a quiet but powerful contradiction. When Ed asks whether continuing to film vehicles is illegal, the officer responds, "You can film whatever you want." That single statement changes everything. If filming is allowed at the end, it was legal from the beginning. Suddenly, the detention, handcuffs, and search no longer have any justification. This moment highlights a broader truth. Rights can vanish quickly when they're exercised in a way someone in authority doesn't like. What remains is a clear lesson in why knowing your rights and standing by them matters.
Okay, so top cuff's going to come off first.
Shouldn't have been put on really, should it?
When you're detained for a search, it's the officer's choice whether to put you in handcuffs, but we are legally allowed to do so.
We'll see. Just so you can witness the markings on my hand?
Yep.
I'll go towards the, Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4 police cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 police officers. We all constables. No detectives here, is there? No inspectors. Couldn't detect anything, could they? What I might do later, I might film all these registrations in here as well. Alright. I'll probably just put them on the internet.
What are you going to do that for?
Because I like taking videos and putting them on the internet.
People's registrations of their vehicles.
It's not illegal though, is it?
You can film wherever you want.
Exactly.
When the officer starts labeling his filming as hostile under terrorism laws, it immediately exposes the problem. Recording police vehicles and sharing the footage online isn't a terrorism signal. It's something countless people do every day without issue. There are no real threat indicators, no intelligence suggesting danger, and no hostile intent. Just a camera and officers uncomfortable being watched. Throwing around terrorism language doesn't make the situation more serious. It just shows poor judgment. The only response rooted in reality comes from Ed's audit perspective. If there were a genuine terrorism concern, the proper step would be to contact counterterrorism specialists, not to make vague accusations. That's the key line. Either there's a legitimate reason for specialist involvement, or there isn't. The fact that nothing happens beyond casually dropping the term reveals everything. Terrorism isn't a feeling or a suspicion. It's a specific, serious threat. Using it casually exposes just how unfounded and empty this stop truly was.
So why'd you wear the thin blue line badge then? Part of the gang? Do you know more people, the public, have died in police custody in the last 30 years than police officers have died on active duty in the last 100 years? Where's your badge for that? Silence. Do you feel proud today? Done a good job today? Go home and tell the children.
I advise you that your actions could be construed as hostile reconnaissance towards terrorism.
What? I just said you've done a good job today.
Police personal vehicles.
Hostile.
For the purpose of putting them on
Terrorism.
for whatever reason that might
Oh,
be.
go on, keep digging that hole.
It's hostile reconnaissance for terrorism offences.
Hostile. If I was hostile reconnaissance, I wouldn't be overt, would I?
No,
I'd be
you don't understand
covert.
what hostile reconnaissance means. It's all right.
You're allowed to do reconnaissance.
You're not
If I wanted to, I could map all this ground.
it could be construed as committing hostile reconnaissance for terrorism offences. I'm just making you aware
Right, okay,
of that.
let me make you aware of this. If you think I'm a terrorist, you should leave me alone and contact the anti-terrorism squad. Because if you thought I was a terrorist, you wouldn't all come up to me like this, would you?
When the officer starts calling his filming hostile under terrorism legislation,
By the time the officers finally walked away, the outcome had already been set, long before the search even finished. It wasn't based on evidence or facts, but on assumptions. From the very beginning, Free Times Audits wasn't treated as a citizen exercising a lawful right, but as someone to be controlled. This stop wasn't a reaction to any real crime. It was a preemptive attempt to limit transparency. That's why finding nothing didn't lead to reflection or correction. Instead, it simply led to disengagement. The encounter ended, but the pattern behind it remained unchanged. What stands out most is how normalized the overreach had become. There was no panic, no sudden chaos, just routine escalation happening automatically. Clothing became suspicious, filming became a sign of intent, and uncertainty was treated like risk. Each step followed a familiar script that officers seem to run when they're uncomfortable being observed. That routine is far more concerning than a single heated confrontation. It shows how easily intrusive powers can become part of everyday practice, quietly eroding rights without anyone questioning whether it should be allowed.